Good morning. Today is January 23rd and it is Thursday and 2025, about 11 a.m. in the morning. I hope your week is going well. And so today we are going to dive into a very simple message about decisions. Throughout the day or throughout your life, there will always be decisions that you need to make. They say that we make thousands of decisions a day, and some are very simple, right? When you are having a meal, you might decide, do you want a sandwich or do you want soup? It's very simple things like that, but that's a decision. At the same time, you might make a decision that I don't want to work in this place anymore. I want to look for a job, which is a little bit more important. Probably a lot more important than choosing a meal. And there will be time in life where it could change your entire trajectory of your life, where you have to make those decisions, right? Especially in midlife, when you are around 40 or beyond that, especially after pandemic, a lot of people are reflecting and looking at life. Are they really happy with what they have? Are there things that they always wanted to do but didn't do, couldn't do for whatever reason? And now they're calling it as a midlife crisis, and from there they make those life-changing decisions. The other day I saw on a LinkedIn post that somebody who was working in this top 5 company, and I had the opportunity to work on this company for a while, and then I knew him, and he left his job to pursue something else. And I cheered that, because first thing is that needs a lot of guts. That needs a lot of courage. in a better way to say guts would be to have that courage, right? The most powerful decisions are where it can excite you. At the same time, it brings you a little bit of fear, because when you overcome those decisions are the ones that can bring you joy in a way that the day-to-day things, no matter what you do, they will not bring you those joy. And I'm a living proof, because some life-changing event happened to me a year and a half ago. And looking back, I would not want one thing to be different. All of that happened, that shaped me for who I am today. All the decisions that I made. I of course believe in God, so I believe deeply that that is the path that God wanted me to follow. Now, if you believe in universe or whatever you believe in, if you believe in that higher power, that there is something other than us who guides your path, in my opinion, it makes it a little bit simpler to go with that path, to accept everything that happens in our life, because otherwise life can get exhausting. But that's just my approach. You can believe what works for you and what resonates with you. But it's the decision. So where I was going with that is that if you're in point A and you want to get to point B, because we all have aspirations and things in our life that we want to do the things that brings us joy. So for you, if those important things that you always wanted to do, if they are here, and if you're here, all the decisions that you make, not only the life transitioning ones, even the small ones, either taking you towards this or taking you towards this. And I'll give you a very simple example. Say one of your goals is to be physically healthy. Now, when you make the decision to have the junk food that puts you in this zone, this is the painful zone. To simplify, I'll call it, this is a painful zone and this is a peaceful zone, right? So when you make that decision to eat the junk food, that gets you closer to that painful zone. And when you make the decision to have a healthy meal, a salad with a low-calorie dressing, that puts you to the closer to the peaceful zone. So we are always dwelling with all decisions. We are putting ourselves closer to either the painful zone or peaceful zone. Painful or peaceful, it's ours to decide. Now, I don't want you to be paranoid about every simple decision you make, but if you start thinking about that when you have to make a big decision, then it is going to help you to consider that between these two, painful or peaceful, when you start making other decisions that are not as life-changing, because ultimately all the decision that we make creates the reality for us. Our future unfolds based on the decisions that we make. If you think of it yourself, go back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, there might be some decisions that you were not fully sure, but you made the decision, took a leap of faith, and then you made the decision, and that moved your life either to this point, either in the painful state or peaceful state. Now, there is no saying that if you made that decision differently, it would have taken you from instead of this to that, but this is just to show you that how decision impacts our life. And when we are more conscious about those decisions, it helps us to live a life that we dream of. And this is a time when we really realize that life is not forever, right? In 20s or even maybe early 30s, we know that life is not forever, but in some way we think that everything is permanent. And life becomes more like chasing after things, right? Like there's a chasing the dream job, chasing a dream car or dream house, whatever that is, right? But after 40s, you know that you don't have to chase. When you change yourself, you can attract the things that you want. You don't have to chase. Because when you are in this painful zone, that is when the chasing continues. And when you are in this peaceful zone, guess what? Attracting starts to happen, because when you are happy, doing what you want, you are not looking for external validations, and you are happy with just by doing what you do, you are happy with yourself. People want a piece of that, and they are attracted towards you. And it's not only about people or dating, it's just in general, as friends, family, because you create that environment that is so positive, uplifting. Consider it as it's a light, right? So when people are going through difficulty and challenges, it's darkness, and everybody wants to move towards the light. It's like those fireflies right? Fireflies moves towards the light. It's a similar concept. So if you are happy, energetic, and loving your life, it is going to reflect. It is going to reflect because it'll be like a bright star or a sun that people can't miss it, and they will be drawn towards you. So it doesn't happen overnight, of course. It takes time to get there, but a lot of time it happens after you get to the rock bottom. Now, for many people, rock bottom, the definition of rock bottom could be different based on how many challenges they have gone through in life. For some, rock bottom may be just getting laid off when they're, I don't know, once when they're 45 years old, because their life was considerably easy. That might be the rock bottom for them, and there is nothing wrong to say that why is that is so difficult, because that's the life they have lived. And some of us who has lived a lot harder life, for them, for us, rock bottom could be much, much, much harder, because our like I say that, it's like an elastic, how far you can stretch, and more tough times we go through in life, our endurance and resilience and persistence. There's a difference between the word resistance and persistence. You can look it up. So anyway, persistence is what gets you to the long-term goal, and resistance is more like a day-to-day. So anyway, so that elastic band keeps growing longer and longer, and it does not have any limit. So more hard times you go through in life, it just keeps increasing, and then more you can handle without any pressure or challenges. So yeah, it's having that understanding, and when you are in that zone, you are the light. You see every situation that way. You act with kindness, goodness. You spread that around you, and that helps others. So a couple days ago, a friend of mine, I texted something with him, and this was interesting because this was an interesting message I saw on Instagram from Louis House. I think I can't say his name properly. I don't know how they say. I have to look it up. But anyway, he interviews a lot of people. My hope is one day I'll be in his interview show, and the impact theory. Those two are my goal. Anyway, so it really resonated with me. So I shared it with maybe 9 or 10 of my friends, and it was interesting how everybody looked at the message and how their responses were, because the human behavior and how people respond with the same thing, it fascinates me. It is, I love learning about those things. So it was really, really interesting. I didn't send it to do that. I sent for them, all of them, to feel better, and because it was one of those messages that you read it and it really resonates with you, and then it just makes you feel better. And how different people resonated with this message. Anyway, so this friend, I found it very interesting. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, it's so cold. So I found it very interesting, and he sent me a couple of memes back saying that he is kind of tired of some people around him getting ugly at each other, like his environment, something was going on that was he was just getting tired of. And right away it came to my mind, and also because I have been practicing this, right? So when you practice, your muscles get stronger, and that mental muscle I'm talking about. So in that, I tried to look up one, and what would express my emotion in a quick message or something, instead of me typing it. And there was like a candlelight, and it said that I don't remember the exact message, but the point was that if everything around you is dark, look around, you might be the light. So I sent it to him, and then he really, really felt good about it. And not only he felt good about it, I can guarantee that people around him, some people had a good impact about that, right? Because my friend was feeling better. So whoever he was interacting with, I'm pretty sure there was some ripple effect to that, right? There is always a ripple effect of goodness, kindness. Similarly, there is a ripple effect of bad things too, right? So those little things, we can make a difference in the world in so many ways. It does not have to be something big, or, you know, the little things, everyday moments can make a huge difference in people's lives. And that is what fascinates me about these things. So I keep practicing, and again, these things have to be practiced on a regular basis, because if you think of it, it's like the physical, going to the gym, or even if you exercise at home, like, for us to be strong, to build that stamina or lose weight, whatever that is, we have to continue doing that. It's not one and done type of thing. Similarly, our mental muscles are like that. We have to continue the practice. And if we don't continue, then we fall off track. And the hardest part is the mental part. We don't see it, right? So it's easy to fall off track than the physical part, because the physical exercise, if we don't see it, we see the weight, our belly gets big. You know what I'm talking about. And it's easy to see and correct. However, the mental part we don't see, and unfortunately, the people around us would see that, and we would realize it after people tell us, or we see some impact with things. So we just have to be consistent with those mental practices that can get us to a better zone. And it's not for anybody, it's for your own good, because you will feel so much better. Until now, I have been practicing this thing for years, but I never knew that this can be possible in a longer lasting way, right? So I have had this experience before where, you would fall off track, and then again you'll feel better no matter what's going on around you. You can keep yourself in that high frequency zone, but it was only for a little bit. But now I figured out a way how you can, no matter what happens around you, you can live there. You can live in that peaceful zone. Things will happen that will try to pull you to the painful zone, but if your muscle is strong, you will be able to get there. You'll be able to get there. You will dwell less in the painful zone, right? Because that's the ultimate goal. Human life, there will always be some suffering, some pain, right? But the goal is not to live there too long, right? The goal is to live here the longest you can. And that's what makes life joyful. So what are the decisions you're going to make today? Those small decisions, big decisions, whatever is going on in your life, that will pull you towards the peaceful zone. If this message resonated with you, comment below. Also share with your friends, whoever you think might benefit from these videos, because I'm really hoping that this makes a difference in people's lives, and I can help to reduce some suffering, some pain in the world. Doesn't matter how micro level it is. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna finish the video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I might see you guys later in the day, not sure, but tomorrow morning I'll be back again. Bye.